major fire ripped through South Africa's 138-year-old Parliament complex on Sunday, gutting offices and causing some ceilings to collapse at a site that has hosted some of the country's pivotal moments. As firefighters struggled to tame the blaze, a dark plume of smoke and flames rose high into the air above the southern city of Cape Town. A fire and rescue spokesman said around 70 firefighters were still battling the fire hours after it started in the early morning. No injuries have been reported, and Parliament itself had been closed for the holidays. Visiting the scene, South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said a person was being held and is being questioned by police in connection with the blaze. Police later confirmed a 51-year-old man had been detained. Top U.S. pandemic advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci said Sunday the United States is experiencing almost a vertical increase in COVID cases as the Omicron variant sweeps the country. But the peak, he said, may be only weeks away. Fauci said on ABC television Sunday, quote, "We are definitely in the middle of a very severe surge and uptick in cases." He called the soaring infection rate unprecedented. With the Omicron variant of the virus sweeping around the world, more than 440,000 new cases were reported in the U.S. on Friday, almost exactly 200,000 more than during a peak last February. But Fauci said the experience of South Africa, where the strain was first detected in late November and peaked quickly, then subsided, offered some hope. Evidence is mounting, he added, that Omicron is milder than previous variants. The U.S. rates of death and hospitalizations have been far lower in recent weeks than during previous COVID surges. South Korea's military said Sunday that an unidentified person crossed the heavily fortified border into North Korea. The person was earlier spotted by surveillance equipment at the eastern portion of the border known as the Demilitarized Zone. The person avoided capture by South Korean troops on Saturday night. Officers with South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff said surveillance later detected the person crossing the border. It was unclear whether the person was a South Korean entering the North or a North Korean returning to it. In September 2020, North Korea fatally shot a South Korean fisheries official found floating in its waters along a poorly marked sea boundary. South Korea said North Korean troops were under orders to shoot anyone illegally crossing the border to protect the population from the coronavirus pandemic. The two Koreas are split along the world's most heavily armed border called the Demilitarized Zone. An estimated 2 million mines are peppered inside and near the 248-kilometer-long, 4-kilometer-wide DMZ, which is also guarded by barbed wire fences, tank traps, and combat troops on both sides. Security forces in Sudan killed 2 people during protests against military rule on Sunday. This, according to the Pro-Resistance Central Committee of Sudanese doctors. This brought to 56 the death toll in protests since a coup on October 25th. The committee said that the first man died of injuries to the head in the capital, Khartoum. The second man reportedly died of gunshots to the chest in Omdurman. Security forces have not yet commented on the reported deaths. Sunday was the 12th round of major protests since the coup. Television images showed security forces firing tear gas at demonstrators in Khartoum as protesters marched toward the presidential palace. The congressional investigation into the riot at the U.S. Capitol building last January is zeroing in on why then-President Donald Trump did nothing for more than 3 hours to stop his supporters from ransacking the building and clashing with police as lawmakers sought to certify that he had lost the 2020 election. This, according to the panel's chairman on Sunday. Congressman Benny Thompson of Mississippi told CNN that the 9-member investigative panel wants to know what Trump was doing during what he called 187 minutes of inaction as he watched the riot unfold on television from a dining room in the White House. Thompson said, "We came perilously close to losing our democracy." And more than 3,800 flights were canceled around the world on Sunday, more than half of them in the U.S., adding to the toll of holiday week travel disruptions due to adverse weather and the surge in coronavirus cases. Larissa